built for you, just to dig me out with silver spoons. No, I didn't see it coming. Oh, gold walls that I'm stuck inside. I guess beauty sees what I can't find. I didn't, oh, I didn't see it coming. Well, I got your message. I want you to know that you are the love of my life, the love of my life. You never leave when the song is over. You ride all the time till the end. You're the love of my life. You're the love of my life. Oh. Gold walls that I built for you, just to dig me out with silver spoons. No, I didn't see it coming. Oh, gold walls that I'm stuck inside. I guess beauty sees what I can't find. I didn't, oh, I didn't see it coming. Well, I got your code and I got your message. I want you to know that you are the love of my life, the love of my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to Race Spec PC Pacific Series Round 8. We are off to Silverstone tonight. Qualifying, sprint, and then the feature race. It's sure to be a wonderful evening of action out on the track, and we should have a wonderful evening of action up in the commentary box as well, as we welcome on in our good friend and co-commentator, Guardian RGR.
G'day P, good to be here again for another spectacular round of Pacific Series racing here at Silverstone.
Indeed, mate. Are you excited for tonight? We've seen some very close battles in the previous weeks, and I expect the same tonight. What are your hopes and aspirations for us up here in the commentary booth?
Well, I think that this is going to be a very fun race to watch. We've got the sprint race, of course, as well, so that's going to be an absolutely flat out. Start to finish. Be interesting to see how that shakes up the order. And then I'm noticing that we've got no data tonight, so this is going to give Average Only a chance to really scoop some massive points and really extend the lead that I actually do expect him to take this round. So
yeah,
I'm
good
looking
spot.
forward to it.
Good spot, mate. Absolutely. Only 14 drivers have showed up for this one, so it's the lowest attendance I think we've seen in the series. I think we even had far more than this in the Singapore Grand Prix when the Elite Series struggled a little bit that weekend. But yeah, only 14 drivers. A big chance for Average Only. A big chance for Aussie as well, who I believe is sitting P3 or Aussie's a bit further down, but Clunky Boy is sitting P3. So it's a big chance for him as well to bridge the gap. Yeah, look, it could be a very different title race at the end of the night.
Yes, it definitely could, and I've also noticed that Clunky is teamed up with one of the reserves, Dutchy. So this should be an interesting dynamic.
Indeed, Dutchy coming in for his first race of the season. I believe he was a late addition to the drivers list tonight. He's come in and we'll see what he's made of. And here we are watching Apex. I believe he's going to be the first driver to put a time on the board for us tonight. In his Alpha Tauri coming through the ever so complex Maggots and Beckett's complex. And now down the back straight.
Yeah, it's like Maggots and Beckett's is, it's a series of turns that's very difficult, but it's also one of the most enjoyable when you absolutely nail it and you're just able to go flat out through there.
Yeah, 100%. Here he comes now into the Vale chicane. It's looked like a pretty neat and tidy lap. Coming around one last corner now. Very tricky right-hander. Got to keep the rear end in check through there. And Apex sets the timing sheet alight. The first time tonight, a 27.8. So well done to that man. Another driver who'll be looking to put on a strong performance. It's just coming through Cops. It's Merlin. I believe he unfortunately crashed out last week. So there's many Haas fans that usually turn up in the chat looking to see the Haas-ter plan in full effect. And Haas have threatened, but they've not quite delivered on their expectations so far this season. So will today be the day that perhaps Merlin can break the duck and we see a Haas on the podium? The fans would love that.
Yes, they absolutely would. Haas have been showing some real promise, and more than anything, they've just come across very unfortunately just plain bad luck. Nothing more than that.
Well, here goes Merlin now across the line. He is 1.3 seconds off the pace. He does a 28.9. Elevates himself to P4 above his teammate Albino Josh. Max Height has crossed the timing line, 7/10 off the pole sitter, who is now Huey Yadig, a 27.6 flying in there under the radar from him. We'll see if we can pick up Average Only. He is a boarding lap into the pits. Sushi Trash, another driver who's been impressive of recent times. He's coming into Vale chicane now, using all the track available there, flicking the car to the left, darting to the right, and then bringing the car around the last final corner of the track, and he goes 128.9 also. P7 for him, 1.3 off the pace. A very similar lap time there to Magic Man Merlin.
Yes, and Dutchy has put in a very good lap, only 3.5 tenths off of Huey Yadig's time, and that was his first flying lap, so showing a lot of promise early on.
Here we go, jumping on board now with old mate 1981-1. 19,811. I'm going to avoid the numbers. Let's just go with old mate. Here he comes. through Maggots and Beckett's. He's committed on the power early. DRS open. He's burnt all his battery though. He's only on 3%, so he's going to be suffering for straight line speed down this straight. As we come into this right-hander, it drops away late. Got to be careful of track limits here as well, but old mate had no drama there before heavy on the brakes. Second gear, using all the curb through the Vale chicane. And all the drivers seem to have cooperative rear ends so far tonight, and old mate does a 30-0, and that puts him P8 in the top 10 as it stands.
Yes, I'm just wondering if old mate left his hot lap on and his out lap maybe, and maybe that's why he was low on ERS.
Yes, potentially. Alright, lovely stuff. So here we go, we're just picking up Aussie now on an out lap. So we've mentioned him, he's been climbing the standings of recent times. He's had a couple of good results. Since Singapore, I think he's been pretty steady. Guardian, not sure if you've got the results or the statistics there, but we'll try and get those up for the viewers very soon and just paint the championship picture for you guys. He's going to let Alex through here. Alex is also on an out lap, so Aussie fancies himself behind Alex. And yeah, we'll see what Aussie can do. Look, I'm expecting some big things for him tonight, and I'm sure he'll be expecting some big things of himself, but we might finally see that Scarlet Red Ferrari up on the podium come the end of lap 26 in the feature race tonight.
Yes, you know what, I reckon that Aussie's actually let Alex go so that he can grab the toe, and that's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad shot at all as he comes through Abbey, turn 1, into the loop or arena. Is he going slow there? Has he already aborted this lap? He has, he's invalidated, so he must have done that through Abbey. I just had my eyes off the screen there for a moment. And in that split second, Aussie's voided his lap, and it won't count. He'll need to go again. Who else have we got out on track, Guardian? That's worth a look at.
So we've got Clunky and we've got Average only on out laps, as well as Apex and Huey Dig out on out laps. And I think what happened there was I was on board with Alex, and Alex actually had a spin just after Abby, and I suspect that Aussie was actually invalidated by trying to avoid that just before Alex ghosted.
Roger that. Clunky Boy's barreled out of his lap to let Alex through, and Alex is going to go invalid there as well as he goes through Cops. They were quite close. All the way down into Brooklands and Luffield and Woodcote, Alex and Clunky Boy, you could throw a blanket over them. I think they're good mates, and good mates on the track tonight as well, keeping each other company.
Yes, definitely.
Average Only's on a lap. He's just come through Abbey, so he's just started. Into, is this the loop or arena? I'm seeing here that it's called arena, but I've always thought it was called the loop, this section of the track.
I think it comes down to which iteration. I mean, I've always known it as the loop, so I would go with the loop.
We'll go with the loop. Here he comes into Brooklands. Just the left-hander. Luffield is the right-hander. And then on the exit, he'll travel on through Woodcote. And here goes Average Only. Looks like he's kept his lap together nicely as he approaches Cops. Barreling towards it over 300 kilometers an hour. You've got to have maximum commitment on a quality lap to maximize your time, and he stays within the track limits here, Average Only. Let's see how committed he is here as we jump on board with him. Looks like he's flicking that car beautifully. Comes through Chapel, gets the DRS open down the hanger straight. Looks like it's going to be a rather tidy lap, Guardian.
Yes, it does. I was just about to say that car looks very, very settled for Average Only, and he is definitely on a good lap right now. And we'll see if he can snatch pole from Here You Dig.
There he goes. He's coming through the final corner. A little wobble of the rear end. Crosses the line. He does go fastest. The championship protagonist, a 27.5. He takes the pole by just 6/100ths of a second. I'll leave it to you for a moment, Guardian. I'm going to get some championship standings up and delve into the wonderful world of statistics.
No worries, mate. I do see that Clunky is on a hot lap at the moment. He's got.
Did he just cross the line? He did. He's gone P7.
Yes. He was very tidy through the sector 3. as well. Unlike a couple of cars, there was no wobble. It was nice, smooth, and settled. So I'm sure he'll find a bit more pace as the session goes on, and you know I reckon he'll probably elevate himself. As Huey Dig has got a 5-place grid penalty for contact with Merlin.
Dear, oh dear. That is not good news for Huey. So, as it stands, we've got the statistics up. We've got the leaderboards up. So, as it stands coming into this round, Data has a 6-point lead of the championship over Average Only. So, Average Only needs 7 points tonight to take the lead throughout the sprint and feature race. But closely behind them, just 29 points off the pace of Data, is Clunky Boy. And there's more than 30 points available tonight. You could score a grand total of 41 points, I believe it is. That includes a fastest lap, and 42 if fastest lap counts in the sprint, but I'm not sure about that. So Clunky Boy could be a chance to take the lead mathematically at the end of the night. He's on 98 points, then Ecam on 86, Aussie on 75 points are the top 5. And in terms of race results, Aussie's recent form, if we look back to Spain, Aussie's recent form, he's gone P4, P9, and P2 last week in Suzuka. Ecam has gone P9, P3 and a DNF. Clunky Boy's been rather consistent, looking all the way back to Miami for him. He's gone P3, P3, sprint and feature. And then Spain onwards, P5, P6, P9. Average Only. Now, I'll go back to the start of the season. Average Only's results have been absolutely uncanny. He's gone P2, 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 P18, a DNF. They were the sprint feature in Miami. P2, P2. And then he broke the cycle last week with a P10.
Yes, he did have a bit of bad luck last week, unfortunately. But he'll be looking to bounce back tonight, and this early pace, I'd definitely say he will. And speaking of Ecam, he's set the bar now with 127.55.
It's close at the top.
Yes, it's going 2 100s faster than Average Only. And it looks like Alex is on his second attempt to set his first lap.
And just in the constructors, Aston Martin leading McLaren by 20 points. They have a big chance tonight to also extend that gap. So at a crucial point in the season, sort of the halfway mark, Data is missing a really crucial race for his title bid. So Average Only, I wouldn't want to say that he's got a free hit tonight, but he's got a big chance to make a dent in the title hopes of Data tonight.
Yes, yes.
Oh, and hang on, big news. Data, right on cue. The commentator's curse. He calls something and... well, Data's joined the lobby. Big news. There we go.
Yes.
And that's what we want to see, because we want to see those two ding-donging for the title, and that's what we've seen so far.
Yes, absolutely. Let's hope Data can get out and get a lap in real quick with only 4 minutes left in the session, because he will have a lot of work to do.
I'll tell you what, 4 minutes is plenty of time for Data to get out there and nail a lap, but he's only going to get one go, so boy does he have to nail it. And Dutchy on the throttle far too early there out of Luffield, and he has gone for a trip into the grass and maybe a touch on the barrier. Unlucky for him. And we'll see if Average Only now can respond. He's just gone through Sector 3, a split time of 103.6 through Stowe, and he's bailing out of his lap. He's going to be very, very marginal if he can strap on his tyres and get back out there. It's a long old trip through the pit lane in Silverstone.
Yes, Silverstone is about 40 seconds end to end through the pits. So he will, if my calculations are right, he will have to get in, get the tyres, go out and set a quali lap to be able to set a quali lap.
Let's jump on board with Data then, as he comes through the left-hander, gets the DRS open. He's barreling his way now towards Brooklands, Luffield and Woodcote.
So at this point, should I mention that this is Alex and not Data, because Data's still in the pits?
Did I say Data?
You did.
Oh my lord. These pesky McLarens, they do it to me every week. On board with Alex we were, but he's barely out of his lap. Thank you for that, Guardian. Hey, we called it. Pre-race, we knew I was going to get it wrong, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did.
Dear oh dear, what a terrible commentator. Moving on, Max Height, he's trying to improve his time, and he's currently a little over a 10th up. Through the final quarter he goes. And he goes up to P8, gaining one position. And I tell you what, less than a second separates P1 to P9, and Less than a tenth separates the top three at the moment. It's very close. But I don't see average only. Yes, actually, now we do see average only coming out. Ecam is not coming out, so he's happy with his time. Huey's on an out lap. Is average only going to have time? He's got 2 minutes to start a lap. You'd think he will. So average only may still contend here for pole position. Data is in the pits. We see him on the register now. The timing sheet, he's coming out. Cade as well. There's a name I've not called. Also another driver, I believe, making a debut tonight in the Alfa Romeo. He's on an out lap, so we've got a few late joiners to the party. Better late than never. We'll see if they can set the track alight here before the end of the session. They've got 1:30 to go.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting to see if those two in particular can get lap times done. And I believe Apex is on a lap now, and he'll be looking to improve from fifth.
He just completed a lap, was a little under 5 seconds down, so he'll need to go again to be competitive. We've got Huey out there as well on a flyer, although he's weaving and going quite slow, so we'll stay on board for now with Apex. DRS open. You've really got to hook it up. There's no room for error with the margins being so close at the moment. It's a great battle that we've got here. Looks like he's gone purple through the first sector here, Apex, so he could be on a charge. He's got to find 3.5 tenths to snare the pole, and that's basing on no one else improving beyond Ecam's time as well. So this could all go down to the wire, but here's the 99 Alpha Tauri through Cops. Let's have a look at his on board. Whoops, sorry, bear with me. He's gone wide. Yes, so he's gone wide. So now we turn towards average only, just starting his lap. A few cars just getting into his eyesight there, potentially deterring average only. Currently sitting on the front row, because this qualifying session will set the order for the sprint, and that will set the order for the main feature race later on tonight. Here he goes. Into Brooklands, looks very committed. Using 5th gear, that's rather high gearing through there. Should be able to get good drive. Now into Luffield. Down to 4th gear, gets the power down. Looks very tidy. Car, very planted through Woodcote. Continuing on now towards Cops. Let's see what he's got. Does he downshift to 7th gear? He does. And playing with the throttle through Cops there. Kept it pinned nicely there on the exit. Obeyed the track limits. Now Maggots, Beckett's. Just about flat chat. Looked pretty good. One last flick to the right. Through Chapel. Now down the hanger straight. DRS open. He's going to accelerate to speeds in excess of 320 kph before the car darts to the right. Plenty of front grip now. Through Stowe. Respect the exit. He does that. And now one last dance on the brakes into Vale. Misses his apex. To the right. He clips that one. And a bit of a moment. Power down now through the final corner. Average only crosses the line at 27.2. Obliterates the previous pulse at a time. Is there a response?
Well, there was definitely a response from Cade, who's gone 2.5 tenths lower than average only, so that elevates him to P2.
Great lap from Cade. 2.5 tenths rather shy of average only's pole lap. That was fantastic. Very glad we got to ride on board. Ecam did come out, improved his time, but average only still gets the better of him by just over 1/10 then. So Ecam at 27.354. Not enough for the pole. Data has not set a lap time. He will start from P16. Apex is out. He's P6. So your top 5. Average only on pole. Ecam, Cade, Huey making up row 2, and Dutchy on debut grabs a top 5. Great qualifying session there, and a brilliant lap from the man himself. Average only. That was immense. Big moment for him in the championship race. Guardian.
Yes, and this also bear in mind that Huey Dig, he's got a 5-place grid penalty, so that means that Apex, Alex, Aussie, and Max Pike will all be elevated by a position as well. But Dutchy and Cade on debut doing really, really well.
Sensational. That's impressive. Really, really impressive for those guys. They've come into the league tonight for the first time. Obviously, some prior experience, I reckon, elsewhere, because they've done a very good job. They can hold their heads high there, and both of them in the top 5 there. Cade will start from P3. Dutchy will actually grab P4 for the sprint. Apex has done well there for P6. Great performance from Alex as well. P7. Aussie in the Alpine great to see him. He's P8. Where's Aussie in the Ferrari? I just missed him, but he'll be disappointed with his result. I think he was a P11. Clunky Boy, only P12. The Haas cars, P13, P14. It's going to be a saucy sprint race.
Yes, absolutely. It was a very tight qualifying, so I think we're on for some fireworks here, and let's hope that the boys be respectful of the track limits and each other, especially with this rain falling.
Oh boy, so it's going to be slippy and slidey, and it's going to be very difficult for these guys around the first couple of laps in the wet. We've seen many a changeable condition throughout the course of this season. It's thrown up some spectacular action. I don't know if we can cope with any more of this, Guardian. If it's going to be another changeable type of night, our heads will explode.
Yes, well, I don't think we'll see a change in weather in the sprint, but who knows? We could, but it is a sprint race, so I don't think we'll see a change of tires. But what's gonna be interesting is what the weather will do during the feature race, because we get another changeable conditions, and we could be on for a very exciting race.
Indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Once again, this is round 8 of your PC Pacific Series, courtesy of the Race Spec Esports League. Are you Race Spec? We've got 16 drivers out here tonight that certainly are. It's a pleasure to have you on board for the broadcast tonight on Twitch. Don't be scared. Get amongst the chat. Let us know that you're there. Have some fun. Have some banter. We love it. We'll do our best to respond throughout the course of the action as well. And on behalf of myself and my co-commentator Guardian, it's a pleasure to be here and bring you the pictures tonight. So, Average Only then has the pole for our sprint race. He's trailing Data in the championship by a mere 6 points, but Data is starting from P16 in this sprint, so he'll be looking to progress through the field throughout the course of this 9 laps into the top 10. Of course, if you're in the top 10, you get points for the sprint race, so you've got to have at it. And it's good to see Aussie there in P8, Sushi, Trash, Alpine. They've got 2 cars out there. Ferrari of Aussie out there as well. And Clunky Boy looking to progress through the field in his Red Bull as well. He's actually one of the title contenders, sitting in P3 in the standings. So it's wet. It's intermediate conditions. We've got a 9-lap sprint about to come your way. We're very excited. Guardian.
Yes, I can't wait for this. I mean, it's wet, but it's only inches wet. We could actually see them having to change over to wet tires, because the track already looks pretty wet. So this is going to be an interesting one. But
there's not too much blue sky out there.
Race. No, definitely not. So this is going to be a very interesting one. Everybody's starting on intermediate tires, so we'll see what they've got, and let's hope for an exciting race.
Let's hope so. So here we go, guys. Grab your scones, grab your tea, grab your strawberries and cream. We're about to go racing in Great Britain, Silverstone Grand Prix sprint race. We are about to go. Lights out. We just see the final cars lining up on the grid now. Data at the back. There's an Alpine there just finding his way very slowly into his grid position. And I believe we are now set for a start here in Silverstone. The lights go on. And the lights go out. We're away. There was a few cars very gingerly off the grid, but it's a good start from P2 there. He came into turn 1. Big moment in the championship. He's collided with Average Only. Send him straight into the barrier. He is out of the sprint, and the safety car is deployed of the virtual kind. Wow. We didn't get to Abbey, and already a collision. Guardian, how did you see that one?
That was... I mean, I know we're meant to be unbiased and all, but that was, very ginger start. I would say, very disappointing for Average Only. But we've definitely had even before getting to Abbey, some massive movers and shakers. I mean, Data's gone up 4 places, and Dutchy has gone up 3 himself. He's in P2. So very very good moves from those guys, and that was just getting off the line better. They got there even before Abbey, so I think we're on for a great race.
Yeah, it's an interesting moment there. We are now green flag again, so Ecam leads the field. Dutchy is up to P2. Cade up to P3. The newcomers have had an excellent start. We've got to try and focus on the action ahead of us, but it was a very interesting one there because I think a little bit more room should have been given there on the track personally, but it was a flying start from Ecam, but he's coming under threat here. Potentially a little bit more contact. Dutchy looks very interested, and Ecam's lost it. He's hit the barrier. A bit of a tank slapper out of Chapel. He's kept it going down the hanger straight somehow. Further back, Apex coming under siege from Sushi Trash and Clunky Boy. It's all happening here at the start of the Grand Prix. Great action. Let's see if anyone can make a move under braking into Stowe. Clunky Boy looking very interested, but couldn't make a move stick. And at the front, Dutchy leads us away. He's got a 1 second gap back to Cade. Fantastic start. Ecam bottled it there on lap 1 after taking average only. He finds himself P4. Fast guy, I'm sure he'll regroup and he'll make a charge on that top 3.
Yes, it'll be very interesting to see if Ecam can gather it up and get back in there. But I tell you what, Dutchy out to a 1.6 second lead, and
how about this action right now, Guardian?
Oh yeah, Data's all over the back of Aussie right now. This will be an interesting one.
Well, he tried to make a move there into the loop. They were side by side. It was a late move under braking from Data, but he couldn't quite complete it. Aussie's done well here just to hang on for the time being, but you can see Data just trying to tee him up, get the exit, but he has a moment there. Broke traction, and that's going to cost him a run into Cops. The next available opportunity might be into Stowe if he has superior grip, and it looks like he's got plenty of downforce. I'll tell you what, it might even happen before Stowe, because here we go into Maggots and Beckett's. The championship leader is on the charge, already into the top 10. Williams and an Alpha Tauri side by side. Clunky Boy interested in Sushi Trash as well. Data still not by Aussie. Out of Chapel, onto the hanger straight. I'm going to expect him to make a move into Stowe, but he may be suffering for straight line speed. I think his game right now is downforce in corners. Does he gain enough to perhaps have a send into the Vale chicane? He's having a look, showing his hand. Half committed, couldn't make it work, but keeps his front wing out of Aussie's rear wing. And they continue on. Good battle then.
Yes, and Dutchy just hitting the fastest lap now, the first flying lap for fastest lap. So yeah, he's definitely got some pace with that almost 2.5 second lead. But yeah, this is already in the early stages, shaping up to be a great race.
Indeed. And Huey, he started from where? P7? He's already made his way up to P3. So a great start from him amongst the chaos of the first lap. And two newcomers on the podium. Go ahead, Guardian.
Yeah, actually, I don't believe Huey was served that penalty for this race from qualifying, because he actually did start P4.
Roger. So his P5 penalty, 5-position penalty will probably come into effect on the feature race. But here we go, the McLaren's battling. I struggle to tell them apart, but it's Alex and Data, I can assure you, battling for position here. It'll be for P8. Alex holds on. Aussie trying to keep up with these guys as well in the background. Is Data interested here? Is he going to have a look into Maggots and Beckett's? It's extremely tricky to go side by side through there. And wisely, he backs out of it, and he's going to try and tee him up once again into Stowe. But we know Data is definitely carrying more downforce, so his straight line speed is not going to be great. But what's Alex Scott? Looks like he's got a bit more straight line speed in his McLaren.
Yes, definitely. And right now, I think the best plan for these McLarens will be to just work together, because
he's had a look.
He's had
a look. They're side by side, wheel to wheel. That's going to continue through Vale. He gets a little bit of a shove. Alex with his elbows out. Aussie's come out of nowhere. It's almost Lewis Hamilton, Perez, and who was that third driver that day in real life? Doesn't matter. Alex holds on to P8.
Oh, someone's had a massive moment there. They've come right off the track.
Yeah, there's a McLaren, and now Data dives down the inside at the entry to the loop. This is crazy. The McLaren's going hell for leather around the outside. That'll be a sensational move. Alex doesn't want to let it happen. I think he's going to have to. It's all tight. It's all turbulent. They're bumping and barging, but they make it through, and they're still wheel to wheel. Aussie just cooling his jets, trying to capitalize on an opportunity if it arises, but so far the McLarens have been pretty good. Still wheel-to-wheel through Luffield. A bit of a moment there for Alex, and he finally loses out. And he has another secondary wobble through Woodcote. Aussie can't get by, but he's nipping at the heels of these McLarens. But Data is now clear through to P8.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was looking at that and I was like, oh, going 3 wide at any point on this track is dangerous. And that's in the dry. We're in the wet now, and I was starting to think, oh, this could end in tears.
They've navigated it pretty well. It was quite a sensational battle that we were treated to there. Just a little bit further up the field, we can see here Clunky Boys making a move through Stowe on Sushi Trash. Sushi Trash went very wide there. Maybe found a bit of a wasabi packet through Sushi and said, I'll have that. But Clunky Boy then progresses through to P6.
Yes, and in the meantime, Aussie has gone through Alex, set up the move very nicely through Stone into Vale. And just a bit further up the field, Ecamm is looking to set up a move on Huey Dig. So this could be an interesting battle to watch.
So Ecamm on Huey. Ecamm has fallen back to P5 after his woes on lap 1. Average only, as I said earlier, championship protagonist. 7 points behind Data. It was a big chance for him to extend the gap as Data had to start from the back, but Average only finds himself out of the race courtesy of a shoulder barge from Ecamm, meaning Average only is not going to score points. That really hurts him. Not the way we thought it would go, but that's the way it has gone. So he'll have to try and come back from the back of the field in the feature race and sort of damage limitation, you'd think, but who knows what could happen. Anything could happen. Data could find trouble in the feature. You just never know what's around the corner in this league, do you, Guardian?
Well, absolutely not, and that's just that's what makes motor racing motor racing. We could see an absolute role reversal next race, and we could be on for some fireworks. I know Average only will definitely be looking to come up the field very, very quickly.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Data has found a way to the outside of Sushi Trash into the loop. That's going to turn very quickly into the inside line as we go through the left-hander. And Data has made a textbook and beautiful overtake there. That was a lovely move to watch, but Sushi Trash doesn't want to give up the ghost. He's going to try and get the slipstream, get the DRS, and he's going to go wheel-to-wheel with Data into Brooklands, but Data gives him the outside line, potentially a little bit less grip there as it's off the line that the Inters are clearing the water from, and Sushi Trash inevitably loses out to Data, and he sits P8. Data now finds himself up to P7, multiple points for the championship leader.
Yes, Data's definitely having a very, very good race so far, having come from P16. And you know what? I don't think it would be out of the realm of possibility to see Data in the top 5.
He is flying. It looks like he's got some electrifying pace. 3 laps to go for him to make that a reality. What's Clunky Boy's pace looking like, Guardian? I know you always keep tabs on him.
Yeah, Clunky's in a bit of no man's land at the moment. He's about a second and a half clear of Data, but he's just slowly eating into that lead that Ecamm has over him. I think this battle that Ecamm's having with Huey Dig is costing both of them a bit of time. So if Clunky can keep the pace up, we might see him sneaking into the top 5 in a couple of laps time. But he's got to get a bit of a move on. We've got 3 racing laps left, well 2.5 now, but yeah, definitely could do it. They're within the visual. And I see that Alex has just got a 3-second time penalty for curb hopping.
He has indeed, and thank you for the support in the chat from Megatron and Fury Inferno. Great to see you guys. And it's Apex in P3, closing in on Cade, who currently sits P2. Both Cade and Dutchy have done themselves very proud already tonight with their strong qualifying, and that's continued through to the sprint race. Both of those drivers on debut. But Apex looking to ruin Cade's day somewhat. And Ecamp's all over the back heels of Huey as well, so we'll keep an eye on those battles. And also, a little bit further back, Aussie potentially about to make a move on Sushi Trash, and the same for Data on Clunky Boy. So here we go with Apex here through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. Just trying to tee up some traction and perhaps a bit of a run on Cade to demote him to the bottom step of the podium. The AlphaTauri driver here of Apex, he's shown a good turn of pace since he's come into the league this season. He's been in some battles. We saw a rather eventful Japanese Grand Prix for this man. We thought he was right out of it, but he found his way right back into it. So he's definitely got pace to burn. A little bit of a lock up there on the left front through Vale. He's swarming all over the back of this Alfa Romeo. Approaching 2 laps to go for these gentlemen. And
Yes,
Data just quickly half a second now behind Clunky Boy.
yes, but I tell you what, I think Clunky might be in a bit of trouble here. He's on very low ERS. Data's just set the fastest lap, and Data has a lot more ERS to play with. And Data all over the back of Clunky at the moment, applying maximum pressure. And, you know, we could see a move from Data very, very shortly as they head toward the Wellington Straight, I believe. So this battle's going to shape up quite nicely, I think. And can Clunky hold on? That's the big question. But Clunky's definitely running lower downforce than Data.
Straight line speed there was crazy.
Yes, it absolutely was. And they're going to be on the run to Cops now. I wonder if they'll try and go side by side through there. Be a very, very interesting battle.
I think Clunky's just going to be a little bit too quick there. Great call, Guardian, by the way. That was lovely stuff. I just think Clunky's going to be a little bit too quick into Cops. And he is, but the downforce of the McLaren, the downforce that Data has, really helped him through the corner. And we'll see that come into effect here through Maggots and Beckett's. Look at him closing up. He'll gain more through Chapel. But Clunky Boy will just about hang on and pull away through the straight. Let's keep our eyes forward, though, on the battle towards P2. Apex has got past Cade. So Apex has got P2. He's got past Cade. And Cade should hold on for a podium, barring any mistakes. Ecamp's P4. He's just got by Huey. And Clunky Boy is actually holding off Data rather well.
Yes, he really is, but Data is all over the back of him, and Data has twice the amount of ERS. But you know what? Clunky Boy is closed right up on Huey, you dig, and there'll be a move on here. So he did bail out of that, but that was set up very, very nicely. We might even see 3 wide, but Clunky, I think he might be on here.
He's going to go and try and get it around the outside. He couldn't do it. He's going to go for the switchback, but so is Data. They're all sort of cancelling each other out here. But here we go, down the Wellington Straight. Clunky Boy finds room to the outside of the track. He switches, darts to the inside. Can he make a move under braking into Brooklands? He tries it. He's a brave man, but it's great cooperation from Huey, and we have another great battle, but it all went awry for Huey there on the corner entry. He just clipped the heels of Clunky Boy. Had a moment. Data's capitalised. He's now trying to find a way around the outside, and he does just that, but this is going to be tight into Cops. I think Huey's going to hang on for now. Data's got the downforce, we know, so is he going to be able to clear him before we get to Stowe? That's going to be a close one. But Clunky holds on and advances the position. He's up to P5.
Yes, and that was a very good, very opportunistic move from Clunky there, and he's put a car between him and Data. So I don't think Data's going to have the time, as we're on the final lap now, to actually get the job done. He might get Huey as we come down to Stowe, and we might be able to set it up for Vale, but Clunky, I dare say, I think he's going to get this P5 because he's looking very, very good as we head down to Vale now. And Data all over the back. I think he's going to pull the move. He is. He put the move on through Vale. Can he hold on, though? And he definitely has. So Data going up to P6, and a great move there right when it mattered.
Oh, Clunky spun it.
Clunky's gone round.
No, they've crossed the line. They've done that thing where they wrecked themselves over the finish. But great call, Guardian. Thank you for that. Just missed, though, Dutchy claiming the checkered flag on his debut. I wanted to try and call it as he crossed the line, but all good. There was a chaotic battle there that Guardian was just keeping us informed of. But Dutchy won the sprint race there on his debut in the series. So a fantastic drive from the Red Bull man there. What do you make of that, Guardian? First race in the series, goes bang. He wins it.
I mean, he just went in there like, oh, clutch? Okay, clutch. And he's kept his nose clean. He's, just basically gapped everybody after that VSC, and nobody stood a chance really. He's done an absolutely fantastic job on debut, and that sets him up really, really well going into the feature race. And I wonder if he might get the double here.
Well, it's a fantastic start to the race weekend for the young man. Dutchy comes through on debut, claims a win. Apex drove a brave race. He gets P2. Cade also on debut, P3. Ecam recovers for P4. Clunky Boy, great result for him. He gets P5. Data P6. Huey 7th. Aussie gets into P8. Great drive with the Ferrari. And then rounding out the top 10, we had Sushi Trash and Alex. The big news of that race was average only out before turn 1 on lap 1. And not scoring at all. So he's got work to do come the main race. Guardian, I'm just going to leave it to you. They don't call me Mr. P for no reason. Make what you will of that one.
Yes, well, we've got a dry track, folks, for the feature race, so expect to definitely see some hard racing. It's dry. We're going to be on for some very good overtakes, some very good battles, especially if the sprint race was anything to go by. And I'm looking very, very forward to this one. Hope you guys in the chat are looking forward to it as well. But yes, very unfortunately, average only. He was out before turn 1 in the sprint race. I'm sure that he'll be willing and wanting to come back through the field. He's definitely got the pace, and he's definitely missed the consistency here. So we'll look for him to come through and go, oh, points? Yep, I got points. Right, formation lap starting. Row 1, we've got Dutchy and Apex. Row 2, we've got Cade and Ecam. Row 3 is Clunky Boy and Data. Row 4 is Aussie and Sushi Trash. Row 5 going down to Alex and Max Hyde. Row 6 is Aussie and Huey You Dig. Huey You Dig receiving that 5-place grid penalty, of course, for the collision with Merlin. Row 7 is Merlin and Oldmate. And row 8 is going to be Albino Josh and Average Only rounding out the grid after that crash on the very first lap, rather unfortunately, of the sprint race.
I'm back. Keep going. I'm just letting you know I'm back.
I thought you had something to point out. But yes, looking very good. It's a dry track, so we'll definitely see some mixed strategies here. And speaking of mixed strategies, right now we have the top 6 all starting on medium tyres, and Aussie and Max Height look to be the only ones starting on the hard tyres. Everybody else between them and below them starting on the medium tyres, so they'll be looking to go for the overcut. It's a pretty long trip through the pit lane here, so definitely be looking for it to be one-stop strats this race, guys. Don't really see anybody looking to do a 2-stop, and I don't really see a 2-stop being viable here, but who knows? Over to you, Pete.
Thank you very much, Guardian. Great intro. He loves the data. And there you have it. Absorb it. Take it in. Watch the cars spin. Now here we go racing once again in Silverstone. There's feature race tonight. Average only coming from the back. Let's see. I'm not going to say that again. Average only is going to race from the back of the grid and see how many positions he can make up and try and keep his title hopes alive. Any comments on that one, Guardian?
Well, I mean, yeah, as they say, anything can happen in racing, and it usually does.
And anything can happen in commentating too, apparently.
Yes. But,
here we go. So here we go then. So it's going to be Dutchy this time, leading us away from pole position. Here we go. I can't see the starting lights. Are we actually even starting? Here we go. Yes, here we go. So the lights come on. Blast off. We are away for the main race tonight in Silverstone. It looked like a pretty decent start from the Alpha Tauri. That's Apex. He gets to the lead into Abbey. Do we have them through? We do this time. The Red Bull of Dutchy looks fiery as well. He's firing through into the loop. Apex locked it up. He's going to come under threat now from Ecam. Dutchy's fallen back to P3. Takes a nice tight line there through the loop, looking to Put Ecamm under pressure. Data's up to P4. Cade having a battle with Clunky Boy back there as well. There's a Mercedes. That's Huey in P10 looking to make a move on Aussie into Brooklands. But Apex has survived. Ecamm looking to go the long way around now into Luffield. And he just about does it as well on the Red Bull. Apex keeps the lead.
Yes, and just at the start of that, and just at the start of that race, going just out of Abbey, we had about 3 cars involved in an incident, so be expecting to perhaps see some early stops for some potential damage repairs.
Side by side through Maggots and Beckett's Guardian. We got to call that. Look at the action. They've made it work too. A great switchback then from Ecamm on Dutchy. How both cars have got through there unscathed. That is unbelievable stuff. Incredible. Don't worry about the 3 cars in turn 1, Guardian. Call the action. We got side by side in Maggots and Beckett's.
Yes, that is definitely not something you see often. Very, very aggressive first lap. Looks like Dutchy's managed to keep the position over Ecamm, and Ecamm's just gonna sit back, and Apex is taking massive advantage to grab that lead. But we've got everybody very, very close together throughout the top 5 and 6. So I think we can expect almost a 6-way battle for the lead of the race.
Data has sent one on Ecamm. It didn't work out there. They bang wheels. That was aggressive, wasn't it?
Oh, that was very aggressive. I was literally just about to call that as he was making the move, and then meanwhile Ecamm also trying to make the move on Dutchy, and I think he's going to make it stick here. No, Dutchy's actually done him around the outside, switching back to the inside, and that was some very, very good defense for the position number 2 there as they head up to Cops.
Indeed it was. Yes, it was a fantastic battle there. I tell you what, they struggled
side by side through Cops. Sorry, P, had to cut you off there. They were side by through Cops, and they really made that work. A lot of cooperation there as they head into Maggots and Beckett's. Geez, these two are having an immense battle right now, aren't they?
They are indeed, yes. Continue on.
Yeah, sorry, I had to suck on some vape, but yes, Apex is out to over a second lead, so he's broken the DRS, and we got about five or six cars that could get involved in this battle right now. This is a fantastic battle going on right now, and Ecamm he's all over the back of Dutchy. He's not letting this one go. And then right behind him, about 4 tenths back of Data. So for Data to get stuck in, because he's all over the gearbox right now. And you know what? I think he's going to be looking to try and make him move work here, going down toward the loop. But just that high downforce setup just hurting him a bit right now, because he's losing it a bit on the Wellington straight pace wise. But yeah, it's looking like we're gonna settle into a 3-way battle as it looks like Ecamm, Data, and Dutchy have gapped Clunky just enough. But I tell you what, I'm looking really forward to seeing what happens as we approach Maggots and Beckett's and head into that first DRS zone. It'll be the first time we get the rear wings open all event. So I wonder who's going to have the better speed down here. But I tell you what, Dutchy's going to come under threat because he leads that train, and Ecamm has the wing wide open, but not enough pace, unfortunately, to get him going into Stowe as we head down to Vale now. And you know what? I think Dutchy is just managing to pull it out a little bit, and maybe before the next DRS zone he can get that gap up. But this is a very, very good battle going on right now between these three.
Indeed it is. Thank you. Indeed it is. And Alex has made a move on Cade as well. They're a lovely move through Stowe. He's up to P6. So Cade just dropping down the order a bit, perhaps just struggling with a bit of pace on the medium tyre. But he is looking to progress back and make a challenge on the McLaren. McLaren having a very strong day, let's note as well. P4, P6, we've got some yellow flags out in the loop. That is a Haas of Albino Josh that has found trouble. Average Only has got himself up to P10. Let's hope we can see him coming through the field a little bit harder as well in his quest to get himself back ahead of Data. And limit the damage done after his incident in the sprint race. And, the Ferrari there had quite a big moment. And average only nips on by. So it looks like there's a few cars out there just struggling for pace and grip, but tell you who's not struggling for pace and grip, the front 4 and 5.
that is absolutely true. Like, Data's losing it a bit on the straights, but he makes up so much in the turns. He's really hanging with them, and he'll continue to get that toe, continue to get the rear wing open. And I tell you what, Dutchy is catching back up to Apex, and this 3-way battle is now going to turn into a 4-way battle very, very quickly.
Indeed it will. Yes, Apex just struggling to break the gap. He's within DRS threat here from Dutchy, Ekem, Data. And Alex has just fallen off the back of his McLaren teammate. There might be some team orders, but there may not be, as to what we saw in the sprint with those two going wheel to wheel for a number of laps. But we'll see what Apex has got here. Can he respond? And what's the ERS looking like as well? That's something we should probably have a little bit of a look at. He's got plenty of ERS in the tank. Dutchy, not so much. So Apex, I think here, just managing his race, but would be certainly beneficial to him if he could break the DRS of the Red Bull.
Yes, absolutely. He's sort of throwing Dutchy a gift here, because Dutchy's going to get the DRS and he's going to be able to take full advantage of that and actually be able to save some of that ERS. And I think, to be honest, the Dutchy probably used a lot of that ERS just defending when he was leading that train.
Oh, it's a spin.
Oh, sorry,
it's
Apex
Apex.
has spun.
Apex has gone around, and I think that's in Luffield, just the exit of Luffield there, coming into Woodcote. So he's had a big moment then, and he's lost the lead of the Grand Prix. So Dutchy, who won the sprint race, has now inherited the lead of the main race as well. So this could be a rather profitable day for him on debut in Race Spec.
Yes, it absolutely could. And meanwhile, just an update on penalties, guys. Sushi Trash has got a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, and the same with Huey Yadig in 9th and 14th respectively.
Thank you for the update. Dutchy takes control of the lead then, but he's under threat from a very fast Williams and an equally as quick McLaren. That's Ekem and Data, a couple of the championship leaders. So let's see what Dutchy's made of here. He's got a long way to go. There's going to be a pit cycle. Who knows if we'll see a safety car, but this will really test the young man, and we'll get to see what he's truly made of now. It was a bit tricky for the drivers in the wet, but boy, oh boy, it's come alive, and they are going hell for leather here in the drive tonight.
Oh, they absolutely are, and I tell you who's got some real pace, and that's Cade. He's just at the fastest lap.
So Cade, that's interesting, because Cade was struggling a little bit earlier on, but he seems to be maybe coming back into it, maybe just tyre warm-up perhaps. Now he's hit the right window and he said, let's go.
Definitely. And changed for the lead and all of that. Ekem got past Dutchy heading into the loop, so very good move. He really set that up quite well, and Apex is off to the races already half a second. So I'd say Dutchy is about to come under siege from Data as well, because Data is closing that gap very, very quickly.
So a switch for the lead then. Dutchy had it for a little, was it a little over a lap then, but Ekem has snared it, and he takes the lead now, and we'll see what he can do. Can he break the DRS? Can he streak away all three of these guys on the same tyre compound? But it's going to be hard, because it's sort of like a bit of rubber banding here. You almost don't want to be in the lead, because if you get the lead, you're going to be under DRS threat. And it's very hard to break the DRS here in Silverstone, I think, because the two straights you get it. It's the Wellington straight, and then of course the Hangar straight.
Sorry, P, but Ekem just had a moment, got a little bit of too much throttle on, and I tell you what, Dutchy's really going to take advantage of that. It's 2.5 tenths. Apex now with the fast slap responding to Cade, who said the fast slap, and then Apex. These are gone, okay, well, I've got this. So I think we're going to be on for an immense race here. But I think Dutchy might just be saving a little bit of his ERS, and we got Huey Yadig in the pit, so Huey Yadig has retired from the session. So that's one of the Mercedes out of the race on lap 7, as we have yellow flags in sector 3.
The Mercedes-Benz yet again out of the Grand Prix. Disappointing for Huey. Ekem keeping the lead, but he's just continually under threat from the Red Bull. Data in P3. Alex is actually starting to catch this pack as well. He's just 1.5 seconds back on Data. It could be massive for his race if he can get DRS, but he's got a fast Alfa Romeo behind him, giving him a bit of grief. And average only He's up to P6, making his way through the field. A tremendous drive from him at this stage of the race. 7 laps, and he's up a bunch of spots from the back.
Yes, he absolutely is. And Apex has now got 6 seconds of penalties for exceeding track limits, so that's really, really going to hurt his result, unfortunately. But I tell you what, Dutchy looking very strong. He is all over the gearbox of Ecamm, and I dare say we might see him move down the Wellington if he can close up a bit more. And Alex has gone into the pits, so he may be switching over to the hard tyres very, very early. I'll just go and check on that.
So Ecamm then maintaining the lead of the race through the loop on lap 8. He's got a koi fish helmet, and he's looking rather coy in the lead of the Grand Prix.
Yes, and Alex has gone to a set of medium, so Alex looks to be 2-stopping. So that's gonna be very, very interesting, because it's roughly 40 seconds from the time you get onto that pit limit to the time you release it. So Alex has now gone all the way back down to 14th, so maybe a bit of trouble that we didn't see there, and yeah, maybe just need to switch those tyres out.
So a couple of cars here just starting to pick up some time penalties for track limits. It's a bit of a tricky one, Silverstone. There's a few places where you can extend, and obviously Cop's the main offender, I think, for the drivers in that instance. So a couple of 3-seconders have just been dished out, but once again, Dutchy down the hanger straight, closing up to the leader with the aid of DRS, but unable to find a way by. Ecamm's just got a little bit more pace in his car, but that won't deter the Red Bull and McLaren driver from giving everything they can to try and catch the leader. Catching's one thing, passing is another.
Oh, absolutely, but I tell you what, Dutchy is a bit closer this time, and they're just starting to get data a little bit as we've got more yellows in sector 3, and that looks like Sushi Trash has gone around, but looks like he's gathered it up and is getting a move on. He's actually in the pits now.
A little wobbly there for Dutchy as he exits the loop down the Wellington straight. A gap 4/10 to Ecamm, but once again, DRS open, charging his way into Brooklands. Had a bit of a look. Just trying to shift the eyes of the race leader, maybe just catch him out, force him into making a mistake. Not a bad ploy, if you ask me. It's good driving. Let's see if he can stay in the slipstream, approaching Cops, and really mount a serious challenge into Stowe. And you see there, Ecamm just trying to break that toe, break that slipstream. So he's obviously aware that Dutchy's behind him. He's got some pace, and I'll tell you what, he might start it to shake in his boots if he gets any closer. Let's see what he's got here down the hanger straight. He's pretty close.
He is, but I tell you what, Ecamm has got a lot more DRS, almost 3 times the amount, and yeah, Dutchy's really, really low, but he's going to go, it looked like he was going to go for it there, heading Stowe.
Didn't he? Showed his hand, but he backed out and he darts into the pits, so Dutchy's going to go for the undercut on the race leader. Not a bad plan. And I tell you what, if he can come out of the pits and maybe get some DRS off a few of the cars towards the back, that might help him out as well. So, very interesting stage of the race here in terms of strategy. Data is within the DRS range, so now's a chance for him to perhaps burn a bit of battery, use a bit of tyre, and really launch an assault, because this could be for a potential race win.
Yes, it could be, and Cade and Apex have also gone into the and Aussie with an E, he's received a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pits.
Alex with the fastest lap of the race at 1:30.6, and Data gap stands at 9/10. It's fluctuating under and over a second, so anyone's guess if he will continue to get DRS on Ecamm. If he loses it, it could spell danger for the McLaren man.
Yes, it absolutely could. I think this high downforce setup is just starting to hurt Data, but it was very good during the sprint race because it was wet. But I tell you what, I think Ecamm is going to take full advantage of this because it is fluctuating. Ecamm has almost broken the DRS, and I tell you what, when he does, he's going to be free and clear, and I think we'll see some real pace come out because Ecamm has a lot of that DRS still saved up, even more than Data.
Data's in the pits. So Ecamm, he's going to go very, very long here by the looks of it. 10 laps in. He's
yes, and
his friends that have been battling have folded, going for the undercut, and that leaves Ecam to do the overcut. So let's see if he's got some pace now. See if he can put in some qualifying laps and try and make sure that he can cover off those cars that have stopped early, but he's struggling. We hear there a big lockup from the Williams. As he comes through the loop, he's looking very, very ginger, using high gears to keep the revs low and maximise his drive as he enters the Wellington straight. And let's have a look. Who was the first one in? It was, who was it?
First one in of that group was Dutchy.
Dutchy, yes. Dutchy is now up to P8. Data is on the pit exit, and I tell you what, Data's absolutely obliterated Dutchy in terms of the pit stop there. Dutchy's found himself way back, actually. Alex is in between him and Data, so Data might be screaming out for some Minister of Defence work here from Alex to keep Dutchy away from him. And that might help his race a great deal, but maybe the undercut wasn't the way, so it could be advantage to Ecam. We'll find out soon.
Yes, absolutely, we will. But I tell you what, these medium tires for those who are still on their original mediums, they're gonna start to be fading. So yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard one to call right now. You don't want to stay out too long, of course, because you'll lose the pace. And it looks like Ecam is in the pits now, so. This is going to be the one to watch. We'll see as Data's coming through Maggots and Beckett's now, if he can get that undercut on Ecam, and this is going to be a very, very interesting strategy. Like I said, it's a very slow pit lane. Data almost at Stowe now. He is at Stowe, heading down toward Vale, and I tell you what, I think Data might actually have the job done here. We'll find out in a few corners' time.
Ecam's just coming out of the pit exit now. He's going to get the pit limiter off the car, and he's going to accelerate up into Abbey. And beyond that, into the loop, Ecam has got the job done. So the overcut has been the way to go then. And Data is still hanging on for his teammate's sake and keeping Dutchy at bay. So it's a great job there from the McLaren number 2. But there's some time penalties as well that will come into factor here. But crucially, Ecam has even broken the DRS, so Ecam's got to really, really put the pedal down here, get his tyres up to temperature as quick as he can, because this could be race-winning stuff here, unless a safety car ruins the day.
Yes, well, that is just it. But I'm just gonna check something really, really quickly, okay, and I'll get back to you.
No worries. Aussie currently in the lead of the Grand Prix on the hard tyre, yet to stop. He's got a 5-second gap back to Clunky Boy, and then Max Height a further 10 adrift, 15 adrift to the leader. And the guys that have stopped already, they are definitely within a pit stop window of the leaders, so they'll definitely resume the race lead. And it's a net P1 currently for Ecam. Data will sit P2, but let's just have a look at those time penalties. So it's 5 seconds for Data, 3 for Alex, 3 for Cade, 3 for Apex, 3 for Old Mate, 5 and 3 for Aussie and Abino Josh. The Clunky Boys in the pits, so the only drivers now yet to stop are Aussie and Max Height.
Yes, and what I thought has been confirmed. Data is on a second set of mediums, so that means the Data has to come in again anyway, and so Ecam might actually, if he can keep his tyres to the end, might actually be on here for the one stop. But Data, he's gonna have to get past Ecam here and try and gap Ecam for his own race sake. So the strategy is now really coming into play, and this is going to be a very, very interesting finish with a multitude of people on 2 stops and a multitude of people on potentially 1 stop.
Yeah, a bit of a head scratcher for me going for the 2 stop personally, but we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, certainly being stuck behind Ecam is not hurting his, not sort of helping his race. Pardon me. If he goes into pits for a second stop, there's no way he's going to find the 40-second gap and make up that time on the soft tyre.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And with this race distance, those soft tyres will burn out super, super quick.
Yeah, it's a quick race, Silverstone. One of the shortest, I think, in average times on the calendar. But nevertheless, it's Ecam in a net P1. Looks like Aussie and Max Height are circulating once again. We'll see. Data really needs to find a way through. He's all over the gearbox here of ECAM. And oh, there's a bit of naughty movement there, and positions are held for the time being. Is Data going to have a look here into the loop? We know he's got that extra downforce. This is where he can use it. Try and find a way by, but ECAM making his car as wide as possible. The elbows are certainly out and perhaps a little bit pointy. Here he goes, blasting off down the Wellington straight. Data gets the DRS open, suffering for straight line speeds, but it's not really useful to him, to be brutally honest, but he's got so much more downforce. So as soon as he gets into the corners, that's where he makes it count. But talking about making it count, it's all for nothing now because he's got another 3-second penalty, taking him up to a total of 8 seconds, which would put him back down in about P8. So it's a big chance here for average only to seal the deal and gain some points and keep the championship well and truly alive heading into the next round. Data's close here with DRS. We still want to see some fireworks. He's closing in all the way here, looking into Stowe. Can't make it happen. Follows ECAM now into Vale. Does he shift to the inside? He does not. Gets the power down, finds plenty of grip. Across the line, it's still ECAM holding on. Cade gets a 3-second penalty as well.
Yeah, so at this point it's going to make things very interesting, these penalties, because there's only about 3 or 4 drivers that don't have penalties right now.
And as Guardian is mentioning that, we do see Data finally try and make a move, and he gets a great switchback, gets great drive, and he's going to get to the inside here through the left-hander, leading onto the Wellington straight, and they're very close. ECAM gave him a big squeeze there. There was a little bit of contact, I think, through Brooklands now. Data to the inside. Unfortunately, they'll turn to the outside in Luffield, but I think he cleared him. But he goes wide, so ECAM sneaks his way back up the inside, gets good traction, good drive, but Data got the job done. Brilliant move. ECAM comes back. It's not over. Into Cops they go. Who's going to get the job done here? It's ECAM. Fantastic racing. ECAM gets the job done, maintains the net lead of the Grand Prix. That was sensational for P1.
Yes, it was a very, very good move.
It was indeed, and it's for the net lead. I say it's for P1 because it is for the net lead of the Grand Prix. Aussie has not stopped, and he's no way, shape or form far enough ahead of those guys to maintain the lead once it all shakes out. But that was fantastic racing, and fair play to both drivers there for making that work. That's what we want to see. Sensational stuff from both of them, and average only. He gets a 3-second penalty. That's critical for him. He just needed to keep it clean. There's a lot of pens coming in. Not having a pen at the end of this race could be gold. You could gain multiple positions with the way the field is. It is pretty close amongst the top 6. Then they're a little bit more evenly spaced out from there down. Keeping our eyes on this battle for the effective race lead. Data might mount another challenge here as he gets DRS for a second time now down the Wellington straight. ECAM moving to the inside of the track there to try and break that slipstream, take the toe away from Data. But look at that downforce. He just gains all the time in the corners. But ECAM's doing a fantastic job here of his defending on the hard tyre. Had a little wobble on the exit of Luffield. Getting some great camera shots of these guys as well. Data making his presence felt through Cops. Nothing doing for the time being.
Yes, I think Data just a little bit far back there on that high downforce setup. But I tell you what, he's making it up here through Maggots and Beckett's, and he may very well have a move set up here for Vale, because he is all over the back of ECAM through these corners.
Yes, he is indeed. Is he going to have a lunge? Looks like ECAM's just shifting directions a couple of times. They're making it hard for the McLaren man to pick a side and commit to it. He maintains net lead of the Grand Prix. Just looking a little bit further back, Apex doing a nice job in P4, but Dutchy looks like he may be reeling him in. And then on the back of Dutchy is the man himself, average only in P6. Funky Boy looks like he's driving a consistent race, and Haas in the top 10. You love to see that. Cade speed up and down on pace. still P9, and Alex looks like he's dropped off a little bit, perhaps an error somewhere along the line, but he's down in P10. Then Max Height, Old Mate, Aussie, and Albino Josh.
Yes, I think at the moment right now everybody's sort of settling into strategy, and I tell you what, when the second round of pit stops come through, I think we'll start to see where everybody's shaping up, and it looks like Albino Josh just getting out of the way of this battle very, very maturely there, receiving the blue flag and letting the fast boys go through.
Yes, indeed. So this battle's been waging on for quite some time now, but it's status quo. Ekem maintains the effective lead of the race, all the while gaining on Aussie, that's staying out and going up for a very, very long first stint on the hard tyre. Data really needs to make something move. As Guardian has noted, Data does need to stop again because he has gone medium in the Grand Prix. And just looking where he's going to come out, he could be in a world of pain.
Yes, he could be, but...
and Aussie's finally in.
But as it stands, even if Data does catch up to Ekem, which is not out of the realm of possibility, after that second stop, he's still got those penalties to clear as well. So Ekem looking very good. He's got no penalties. He's looking in a very, very strong position here actually, as it looks like Aussie comes out just behind Clunky Boy from that stop. So this will be another battle that'll probably shape up rather shortly.
Aussie's going to be quick, and as mentioned, he has come out on the back of Clunky Boy, so hopefully he can get some DRS to help him on those cold tyres, and in fact he has. So we'll see what Aussie can do towards the back end of this race. He sits P7, but there could be a position or two left in the Grand Prix for him if he really puts the hammer down and nails his laps. But here's Data, still chasing the race leader. Ekem, once again getting the DRS down. He's got plenty of battery, so does Ekem. They're pretty evenly matched in that respect. Is he going to be able to use his downforce, use his extra front and rear grip through Stowe? Well, Ekem gave him a pretty good block there, and that sort of hindered his day. Down into Vale. He keeps his distance, so Ekem doing a really nice defensive job at the moment, keeping Data at bay.
Yes, he is, and Ekem, he'll be feeling that pressure now, and he's got to keep it absolutely clinical because he's on 2 warnings as well for exceeding track limits. So he's got to keep it clean to keep that no penalty advantage. Indeed,
yes, good point. And Aussie has found a way past the Clunky Boy. He's got 11 seconds to make up now to catch Dutchy and Co. Average only, worth noting, he's found his way up to P4 now. He does have a 3-second pen, so he needs to put a gap on Dutchy to maintain his position zone. But a great drive in the feature from the back of the grid after trouble before turn 1 in the sprint race. Not of his own doing, I would say. It's a great drive here from the Aston Martin.
Yes, Average only having a very good race there. He's gone up 12 places from the start, and I tell you what, he's looking to have some fairly good pace on right now too, as it looks like Data is going to be setting up for a move here, and he's got the DRS open. The move is probably going to be on, and he thinks better of it. He's going to set it up for the Vale chicane. No, he's not. He's just going to drive past them, I think, and that is a very, very good move after quite a fair few laps of waging war with each other, and Data's come out the other side and very, very clear this time. But I think Ekem might have just thought better of it and has just let him go, knowing that Data still has to make at least one more pit stop.
Yeah, Data did well there, just getting around the outside of Stowe, got great drive and made the moves under braking into Vale. It was textbook and a great move for the lead of the Grand Prix, but he's unable to break the DRS. So let's see what Ekem's got. I wonder if Ekem realises at this point in the cockpit of his Williams that Data does need to stop again or take a penalty. Nonetheless, great battle, switching positions for the lead. It's now Ekem down the inside into Brooklyn's textbook move. Data's going to try and use his downforce to go around the outside in Luffield, but he can't do it. Now he thinks of the switch back, couldn't get enough power down. And enough straight line speed out of there to go through Woodcote side by side with Ekem. So Ekem will just pull away marginally before Cops. And he reclaims the lead of the Grand Prix on lap 20.
Yes, this has been an absolutely thrilling battle. But I just wonder if Data's not aware that he went onto the mediums, because this is you know, the laps are counting down. He does still have to make the stop, and
there's rain out there. I'm seeing rain.
No
I'm seeing rain fall towards the end. Sorry to cut you off there, Guardian. We also, it is Cody's after all. Who knows what's happened with Data's tyres? It could be something not of his own doing, but well and truly right now the rain is falling. So approaching 5 laps to go. This could be insane. I've lost for words. This could be insane towards the end of the Grand Prix if rain starts falling and the track starts to get a little bit greasy. We could see stops for inters, or we could see dry tyres on a wet track. It's going to be very exciting. Data is indeed a fast guy, Donut Guy. But let's see what he's got in the tank here. He's just lost out a little bit to Ekem. Those hard tyres in these sort of changeable, greasy conditions could really be the answer to unlocking quite a lot of lap time. Max Height has just passed Clunky Boy for P10. That's actually Clunky Boy in the pits. Keep an eye on that for us, Guardian. See what Clunky Boy goes on to. Is he chancing his arm on intermediates?
I've seen you. So Clunky has gone on to inters.
Yellow flags. Yellow flags in Lovefield. Apex has gone around, not for the first time today in that corner. And he drops back to P5. That promotes average only onto the podium. Dutchie's up to P4, average only. My guy, what a drive from him. But Data has kept DRS on Ekem, and this race is fast approaching a sensational crescendo as we welcome on in Mort. Great to see you in the channel, mate. Ekem, a different beast with assists on, mate. We have been treated to a superb battle for the lead of this race tonight. And Ekem maybe just throwing half a dummy there to Data, saying, I'm going to pit. No, I'm not. But yeah, definitely rain falling. This is I'm tense. I'm anxious for these guys. What's going to happen? We know Data has a host of penalties, but still, it's been a sensational battle nonetheless.
I tell you what, I think we're going to see everybody running on inters, because Dutchie and Apex both in the pits right now, and I'll tell you what they go on to as soon as I see it. But yeah, we've got a host.
It will be inters. Clunky Boy has gone on to inters. Aussie's out there on inters as well. So I'd say all these cars are now pitting for inters. Ekem has stayed out. He made a great call on pit stops earlier to do the overcut. Is he going to get this one wrong? Who knows? The rain is falling, but the track still looks very dry.
Yes, I think if you were to pit, you would be going on to inters. But I think that Ekem might actually have, as we see the Haas's there double stacking. But I think honestly that Ekem might just have enough heat in those hard tyres to keep
see them out to the end of the race.
Yes, and get to the end of the race.
Yeah, it looks like Apex just struggling for grip at the moment, but it's going to take, I usually find on the intermediate tyre, it takes 3 or 4 laps to properly fire them up dependent on pressures, but just now as we see Apex come out of the pits and through Brooklands, it just seems to me that we're starting to see some, some splashes on the track, and the track's getting a lot wetter now, so is it going to be a lap too late, or is it going to be perfect timing for these guys at the front? Ekem staying out yet again, going for the overcut. I'll tell you what, I think Data might have the perfect timing on the pit stop here. What's average only doing? He's going to stay out as well, taking the gamble. I think that this might be 1 lap too many for Ekem and average only, but only time will tell. Ekem on his hard tyres coming through Abbey still looks like he's got plenty in the tank. So Data into the pits. Let's see where he comes out. Would expect him to come out before Apex, but he is serving a time penalty currently. Now his mechanics get to work on changing his 4 Pirelli tyres. They strap on instead of the green intermediates, and it's going to be pretty close, I reckon, between Data and Apex for the podium position.
Yes, I dare say it will be. And
yellow flags. Yellow flags. Who's that one for? It's not Ekem. That's actually Aussie at the back of the grid.
Yes, I tell you, I think that Ekem and average only are going to be taking the gamble and staying out, but that track is getting very, very wet very, very quickly, and I dare say I think that the gamble may not pay off. We do have, what, 3.5 laps to go?
Sorry, Guardian, just for a minute, my keyboard had a bit of a moment. There we go, it's come back. There we go, sorry about that.
No worries. Yes, so 3.5 laps to go. I tell you what, this track is right at the crossover now, and I don't think that those dry tyres.
Ekam's staying out once again, so average only. He's also stayed out, 18 seconds adrift, but it's Data on the inters. He's 12 seconds behind average only, but I reckon that delta is going to be fast shrinking. He's found about a second just through Chapel alone, so those guys that have stayed out on the dry tyres are really struggling. They're going to be limping to the end of this Grand Prix, and Data is on an absolute charge. Now, the gap to the leader for Data right now is under 30 seconds, so I think for sure Data has got the main control of this race. I would be going as far to say that he's the effective race leader, and there's an Aston Martin that's gone around. That's average only. Dry tyres right now are certainly not the trick, but I'll tell you what, 3 laps to go, Data's going to find 27 seconds. It's going to be a colossal drive on the hard tyre in wet conditions if Ekamp can hold on. And I tell you what, look at him struggle his way through Luffield. He's just got no traction, no grip, and no pace.
Yeah, he's going to struggle. That was definitely, in my mind, from an engineering perspective, I think that was definitely the wrong call. But I mean, Data's still got a lot of time to make up. But he's not exactly going quickly either. So
he's 2.5 laps from the end. Ekamp, he's truly just got to commit now. He knows if he pits, he's going to lose the race lead. He might as well die trying at this point and see if he can come up with something truly monumental. Almost like Lewis Hamilton getting to the finish line with 3 wheels. Something like that. Data, the gap is down to 21.1 seconds, and he is ragging that McLaren through Maggots and Beckett's. Absolutely going bananas. He knows the situation. He's got time penalties as well, so not only does he have to pass, he has to establish a gap. 18 seconds the gap now. Ekamp, oh my god, it's hard to watch, but the skill that he is deploying right now to keep his car moving in the right direction towards the finish is truly remarkable. 2 laps to go for Ekamp. 16.4 seconds. The gap came down about 10 seconds on that lap alone. Data flying through the final quarter. 13 seconds across the line. This is going to be a tight finish. Ekamp's really struggling. The car lackadaisical, almost limp through the loop. He's got nothing, absolutely nothing, but fair play to him for just keeping on, putting his foot down and just committing to a call that he made and not turning back. But the gap now under 10 seconds. I think it could be pretty close coming into Maggots and Beckett's if you ask me.
I think it will be. He's really struggling on those hard compound Pirelli tyres. But Data's still got to get 3 seconds ahead. But I tell you what, the rate that Data is closing in,
still got to pass him too.
Yeah, and Ekamp has been absolutely on it on defense. But
indeed,
yeah, I don't think there's much he'll be able to do to defend this.
There could be a twist in the tail yet. We're about to find out. So Data, he's approaching fast. He's like a shark after blood. Ekamp coming through Chapel, gets himself onto the hanger straight. Data has approached him at effectively the most perfect time because he's found him on a straight. The straight line speed of that Williams keeps him ahead. Into Stowe. Data's just got to be calm. Finds room where there wasn't any on the inside of Stowe. Like taking candy from a baby. And ladies and gentlemen, Data is your championship and race leader here. Ekamp really struggling now. He's just got to stay calm. He's lost out to Apex as well. There's a lap to go. He might fall off the podium. Dutchie's 8 seconds back. Data's away. On the last lap of the race, the McLaren has the lead, but he's got time penalties. Let's see that situation. Based on penalties, he will win the race currently, because Apex behind has got 6 seconds of pens to deal with as well. And then it's Ekamp, Dutchie. Oh, it's hard to say what this podium's going to look like.
I tell you what, Dutchie is very, very close to Ekamp now. I expect
He's through.
And he's gone past him. So, very unfortunately, Ekamp, he's going to struggle to the end of this lap, and he may very well even come under siege from Aussie and the Ferrari as well. I mean, Aussie does have a penalty, but I mean, Ecamm is going very, very slowly. And you know what? I think he's about to get done by Aussie here as well, because look at that gap.
I think he will get done. Yes, I think he will. So here comes Data then through Maggots and Beckett's. One final time. He's driven a sublime race. He was electrifying in the sprint, and he's been as equal to that in the feature race as well. He's going to cross the line in front. I reckon he's going to hold on for a famous victory here in Race Spec PC Pacific Series. Through Stowe. Descending down the hill into the Vale chicane. He's out of fuel. Data's out of fuel. Right, let's see what Apex has got. Into Vale. Is he going to eclipse Data, who is out of fuel? He's got to get past him and build a gap, because he's got 6 seconds of pen of his own. Through the final corner. Will Data hang on? I don't know. He does. Data does claim the lead. Now, what's Dutchy got? What's his story? P2. Data wins it in an absolute thriller.
I tell you what, in the meantime as well, Aussie's also got him past Ecamm, and he's gapped him as well. So
P4.
So Aussie, he is going to hang on to that P4.
Ecamm P5. Brilliant then. So Data snares the win. A bit of late drama. I told you guys it was reaching a sensational crescendo. We got just that. Data ran out of fuel, but he had a 2-second buffer. Claims the win from Dutchy, who gets the second spot. Apex hangs on to a podium after an eventful day, and Aussie comes through at the end. He'll be elated with that result. Gets P4. Ecamm, rather sad, rounds out the top 5. He ran out of fuel in Singapore. He ran out of tyres in Great Britain. What could have been for his championship bid? It's still alive, but he's a fair way back, and he's not gaining any. Terrible, terrible day for average only. DNF and P12. Data has well and truly taken control of the championship today in Great Britain.
Yes, he absolutely has, and yeah, condolences to average only, because yeah, he was just struck with really bad luck in the sprint race, and it just did not work out for him in the feature race there, and yeah. But yeah, these things happen. You just gotta keep your head up and keep pressing on.
For sure, absolutely. What a crazy race we've just seen. I tell you what, it's like every week we get something different. That one was wet, dry, or wet in the sprint, dry in the main, wet towards the end. It was all happening, mate. What a race! What another great display of driving that we saw as well, particularly through the early stages of that race, and fantastic battle between Ecamm and Data. It's sad that it ended the way it did for Ecamm, but Data won't care about that. He's taking another race victory, and it's his first in a while, actually, so well done to him. Extends his lead at the top of the championship. What a podium, what a win, what a race.
Yes, absolutely, and some fantastic driving from the two rookies on debut here. They definitely showed some really fierce pace today.
They sure did. It's Data's first race win since the sprint race in Miami. And there we have it. But average only, I tell you what, for the rest of the season, just needs to get himself together, regroup, and just mount another charge. We know he's got pace, and we'd like to see him challenging up the front. Behind him, though, it was Clunky Boy, and Clunky Boy didn't have the most spectacular race there, did he? Where did he finish up in that main race? P10. And then behind him is Ecamm, so Ecamm had trouble there as well. So Data sort of gaps the field now, and we'll wait to see if anyone can mount a challenge on his title, but that's halfway done, so who knows what we'll get in the next week. It's just it's a thriller minute, isn't it, in this series?
Oh, it absolutely is, and Cade also there snatching the fastest lap in the feature race, so I believe he'll get the bonus point for that.
Well done for Cade. Yes, I think as long as you finish, you will get scored for the fastest lap and points given. So there we go. So I reckon we've got some driver interviews, so I'm going to hand over to Guardian for those. Take it away.
Yes, absolutely. So Data, absolutely phenomenal event. That end of the race was absolutely crazy. Like we we were really wondering what was gonna happen when you were on that when you're on that second set of mediums, and Ecan was being an absolute thorn in your side there. But yeah, well done on the win, and that was very close with the running out of fuel at the end there.
Yeah, I did run out of fuel, and I probably will put in maybe half of that more next time. Yeah, it was. I did the last to first across the whole weekend.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you definitely look to be struggling for pace on the straights there a bit. So, were you just running a bit higher downforce, or?
Yeah, I was running hard downforce because I knew the race and the sprint had wet periods. I hope the wet period in the race lasted longer, but I still won. So yeah.
Yeah, must be very happy with that first win since Miami. So, yeah, very well done there, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
And Aussie, very very good race for you. Best result in a couple of races, mate. So, yeah, how does it feel to be bouncing back now?
Whoa, are you forgetting I got second last week?
Maybe.
Nah, that was a good race. I started on the hards, anticipating the rain at the end, and decided to stay out a little longer than anticipated, which really helped. Was in the lead for a few laps, which was good. Kept it calm, kept it collected. Nice, easy movements on the wheel, which helped as well with my pace overall. I'm the last two races I've been faster than my rivals, well, my main rivals, which has been surprising me a lot. So either I'm getting really good setups or something's going on, because definitely not the results I've been expecting, but nonetheless happy to get them. I think the rain coming a little later in the race would have helped me a lot, but it is what it is. We still made the most of it, and P4 in the end was a very solid result.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it was a crazy race from our perspective. Really hard to keep tabs on everything that was going on, especially in that sprint race. But yeah, very chaotic start to the sprint race as well. How did you see that from your perspective back there?
After that Grand Prix, I'm trying to remember back to the sprint race. No, it was actually quite all right. Although I think I saw it was a average only at the start. Go into the wall in front of me, and then from that point on, I didn't even make the first corner before the virtual safety car came out. So not really too much action there. The restart was good though. Lots of people trying to go side by side in the wet through maggots and beckers, which you never want to do in the dry, let alone the wet. So it helped me keep up with the front of the pack, and we just kept it clean. And sprint race, don't want to take any risks. Just want to get a better position for the start of the next race.
Yes, absolutely. Well, very good job there, guys, and to all the drivers, especially the two rookies on debut here today. Yeah, just an absolute thriller to watch for us up here in the commentary box. P, do you have anything that you wish to ask the drivers?
No, nothing for me. It's another great race. Throw up some twists and turns, which is always fascinating for us to see up here in the commentary box, and just an all-around good GP weekend. And yeah, very excited to see how it all folds out over the remainder of the season.
Yes, absolutely, mate. Same here. Well, I will let you close out now, because I don't think we have any other drivers that want to come in for interviews. So over to you, Pete.
Nice. So thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. There you have it. Data takes the win for the round 8 of the PC Pacific Series here from Silverstone. We'll be back next time from, let me just grab the calendar. Stand by. Where is the pesky thing? Coming to you next week from COTA, the Circuit of the Americas, for round 9. So it should be a very fascinating race there on what should be a wonderful track. You'd expect dry weather. from a place as dry as Austin, Texas. But yeah, stay tuned for that one next week. Make sure you check out Race Spec on the YouTube, Twitch, and follow all the various series that'll be taking place throughout the course of the week. On behalf of myself and Guardian, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we will see you next time.